Hey y'all, and welcome to this week's Back Porch Chat. If you're new to these videos are really just very little to no editing. We're sitting here on the back porch, hanging out together and chatting. I've done these the last couple of weeks and I really enjoy them, and I think you all have as well. So if you've missed any, I'll put the playlist down in the description box for you so that you can go and check it out. But we're gonna sit here and hang out for a little while today. My name is Tiffany, in case you're new, and this is our small town life. My husband Justin and I, we live in a double wide mobile home on a 1 acre homestead with our 5 children, and we share a day-to-day life with you. We'd love to have you stick around and join us. So I was thinking about what are we going to chat about today? What are we going to talk about today? I was thinking about something that I say often, especially when I'm talking about gardening and homesteading and raising animals and those kinds of things. I say it a lot in my garden tours, and that is that I want to be an encouragement to you to grow what you can, where you can, how you can, and to not think that what you do and how you do things has to be exactly like the way someone else does it. And as I was thinking about that, I was thinking about how that applies to so much of our lives, all of our life, not just, oh, there's a wasp, go on, not just gardening and homesteading and raising animals, but our home, our careers, friendships and relationships, and just every aspect of our life. I think you would be hard pressed to find 2 people who do everything exactly the same. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't look at how someone else does things. I have a YouTube channel, and I share gardening with you and how I garden. I share recipes with you and how I cook for my family. I share my animals with you and how we raise these animals. But I don't want you to ever think that you have to do everything just like I do. I want to encourage you, and I want to show you what we've figured out works for us. And there may be a way to grow potatoes where you get a better yield. There may be some tips and tricks. There may be a way that you can raise your meat birds so that they're good, healthy animals and you don't lose any and they're good weight. There may be a way that you can cook a specific cut of meat and it's more tender and it's delicious. But y'all, there's no one way. So I can share my tips and tricks with you. You can watch other people and read articles and watch shows and research this and that, and I encourage you to do that so that you can figure out exactly how you want to do things. But I also want you to know that there's no one way, and that's not just with gardening, that's with every aspect of your life. Sometimes I think that, and I'm guilty too, y'all, I'm guilty of looking at the way somebody's doing something and the things that they have, and maybe being a little jealous almost. That's human nature, and we got to keep it in check. But sometimes I'm guilty of watching someone that has all these big beautiful raised beds, and they have this big beautiful raised bed garden, and thinking, man, I wish, like, I don't have the money, the time, the resources to be able to have that. Or I'll be driving down the road and I see somebody in their big fancy car and we rolling around with the windows down because my air conditioner doesn't work, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I wish. But sometimes we forget what someone has had to do or is doing to get to that place, good or bad. I don't have a car payment. They may be sacrificing in so many other areas of their life to be driving around in that car. They may have built those raised beds one at a time over 5, 6, 7 years to be able to get that garden. But human nature, sometimes we don't see those things. We go, man, I wish I had that. And with that thought, I also wanted to tell you that perhaps, and I remind myself of this, one, there was a time in my life where I wished for what I have now. And there will probably be a time in my life in the future good Lord willing, that I say I have what I wished for back then, if that's God's plan for my life. With that said, though, I want to encourage you to think about this and remind myself to think about this. Perhaps God is watching us where we are with what we have to see how we handle it, how we manage it. If we're not good stewards of a little, why would He give us a lot? If we're not managing what we have, why would He give us more? So maybe where we're at, whatever that looks like for me, whatever that looks like for you, maybe we need to think about perhaps God is watching us, seeing how we're managing what we have now, to see how much more He could bless us with in the future. Because if we're not doing well with the things that we have, if we're not thankful and grateful for it, if we're not taking care of these things, if we're not taking care of our homes and our family and our gardens and the meals that we're preparing and the way that we're handling our finances, if we're not taking care of those things, why should we think that we deserve so much more? If we're not working hard where we're at, why should we be handed something more? Does that make sense? So think about that, and the next time maybe we're discouraged or we think, why do I not have this? Why do I not have that? Maybe we need to focus on taking care of what we do have so that God knows He can trust us with more. And like I say, I want to encourage you to do what you can, where you can, with what you have, and not think that just because you don't have what someone else does, that doesn't mean you don't have the tools that you need right now. If you've got to grow something in a 5-gallon bucket, if you've got to stick a tomato plant in your flower bed next to your front door, like, just do what you can, where you can. If you can't cook a home cooked meal from scratch every night, from scratch bread, meat that you raised on your farm, eggs you gathered from your farm, vegetables you grew in your garden, that's okay. Do what you can with what you have. And you will notice that over time, as you continue to do that and you continue to do a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more, you'll look back and go, wow, look where we are. How did we even get here? It's because you always took that next step with what you had. So that's my encouragement for you today. May we all realize how incredibly blessed that we are. May we all work hard and manage well what we have so that God can trust us with more. And may you remember that what you do doesn't always have to look like what someone else is doing. That's going to be all for this one. I hope you got a little encouragement today. If nothing else, I enjoyed sitting here and hanging out and chatting with you. I love you. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.